Hi, wonderful morning. This is a week of firsts again. So this is the first Tuesday show of the new year. So happy new year to you once again. Every morning this nilisikia Trevor jana akisema tunaweza sema happy new year hadi April. So happy new year to you once again wherever you're watching, and it's good to have you all here. Bobby, how you doing?
Back. I'm very happy. I was going through it in December, so I'm excited for this new January, for this new year. Niko happy.
Uko happy?
Na feel poa sana. My mom says happy new year.
Happy new year.
Jika ni Kiluya ama?
Ama ni happy new year.
Happy new year.
Yo, Mike.
You guys.
Good to see you all too. Yeah.
Good to see you too. Yo, Mike, you got jokes?
Ah, man. Always. Man, let me tell you, I'm happy to be here. You know, just even making it to the end of the year.
Yes.
Crossing over into a new year. And, you know, everything that comes with it, it's a blessing.
Yeah.
It's a blessing.
Yeah, it is. It is a blessing. Now, enjoy hapa hivi sasa. We want to talk about something that everybody, by now, this is what? We are on 10th. So by 10th, probably, you have done it all. I've seen the most common clip going around here. This is what you need to do whenever you want to make your new resolutions. Take a white piece of paper and then write down the 10 things that you want to do. And on those 10 things, write them down in the present tense. So I weigh this, I drive this, I earn this. And then after you do that, just go ahead and look at the one that you can do with immediacy. And then after you do that, circle it around and then focus on that.
My formula.
Even the formula.
Yeah.
So everybody's writing down their, or rather have written down now, and they're trying to actualize their whatever's. If you are successful in, let's say, joining the gym, today will be day 10. If it was detoxing from your phone, again, today will be day 10. Yeah. But I tend to feel a lot of people, most of the people, at least on my feed, they share, of course, the things that will inspire, which is okay, because you need inspiration. But beyond the quotes, that's what we want to talk about today. Because I personally feel like, unaweza kuwa na maquote zote, lakini usipobadilisha hii kitu hii, it's zero. It's zero. So maybe we'll start there, Bobby. What do you think about, first of all, just resolutions? And by that, this is not to say that si ati ukiziandika ni umbwakni. It's also good. I mean, even the Bible says write down the vision and make it plain. So there is a place for that. But how do we do it right? What do you feel? Personally, do you do the whiteboard, vision board, write it down?
Well, I think that's it's one way to manifest things easier because it does work. You just need to focus and be serious about what you want. But something that I have been doing for the last about 2 years is instead of wishing things upon myself, I put myself in a state of being, which is like the law of assumption instead of the law of attraction. Instead of saying, I want to drive a G-Wagon, and then I put a picture of a G-Wagon up there, I treat myself the way I would if I had a G-Wagon. I make myself feel like I have a G-Wagon. Like, how would I be if I had a car? How would I act? How would I speak? Who would I hang around? Where are the places I'd go? What are the things I would consume? So if you put yourself in a state of being, you end up living the life. You end up becoming. Then it starts pulling you towards the things that you want. Because if let's say one of your resolutions is to work out. Right. You can't start saying, I want to go to the gym. Okay, yeah, that's where it begins. But I mean,
I'm a wake up a picture of the rock.
Yeah, like it's a process, and it does work. I just feel like it's a bit slower because now instead of being, you start, instead of being in the state of being, it starts being of like something you're wishing upon yourself, like something you'll do, something you want to do in future. But if you just start with, okay, mtu anaendanga gym ufanya nini? Yo amka saa ngapi? Ye ukulaje.
Yeah, especially hapo kwa kukula.
Yeah, ye uongea na nani. Social media anafollow kina nani. Anahangia around kina nani. Mabeshte zake ni nani. Ye uenda wapi. Ye utembea, ye take walks. Ye uenda gym saa ngapi. It just starts like that. Then routine becomes habit. Right. And then you actually become that person. And that's what I do all the time. And I end up achieving my goals even before the year ends. Right. Like this year I told myself I need to do better at writing and publishing. Okay. Because I go months on hiatus, and It's crazy, but if you're a writer, you understand. It's not procrastination. It's very easy to keep saying, I'll do it. This year, I want to write 20 articles.
Yeah.
But now, I've put myself in a state of, what does the writer I want to become, how does she live? What does she do? She gets home and she writes something, even if it's 2 paragraphs, even if it's a paragraph, even if it's a sentence, that's what she does. And I found myself, I said I'm writing, the number of articles I said I'm writing this year, I've already surpassed it, and we're just on week 1. Meaning it's something that anybody can do. Yeah. Meaning
Congratulations.
It's something that anyone can do if you just, okay, that's my process.
How you did it, yeah.
I put myself in that state and I live as is. So that's how I find the things that I want for myself coming towards me, because if I said, who does this writer hang around? Then I look around and I see, oh man, now I'm hanging around writers who write. That's really good.
So
why? Because I took the initiative to follow them and to talk to them and to reach out and to put myself in these spaces. I feel like, I mean, writing things down is a very sure way of getting them done, and it makes it very easier, especially because it's a good reminder. But you have to want. It's just like change, improvement, like anything you want for yourself, you have to want it so bad that you put yourself in a position where you're able to achieve everything you want. So yeah, I'd say I believe in resolutions, just that it's not a New Year thing for me. It's something I'm always doing consistently.
You're always trying to set goals, achieve
things, improve myself especially. Yeah. So the more I do this, the more unapatanga hata in December umefanya vitu zote ulikuwa unataka na umefanya more. So it's a good feeling.
It's a good thing. Yeah. I know for the gym, you know, I've been fortunate enough to have some very good trainers before. Eval Fitness, Alvin Lee Fitness, _Morris, shameless plug. So yes, all those 3, follow them, by the way. So the thing that I like about them is that they would tell me, if you want to come to the gym, you kuje when you're ready. Don't just come because, oh man, doing the gym. Because if you're not mentally there, because there's something that I think you said once, is that you literally live with this body. Ukiamka uyo unamwangalia kwa mirror, that's you. So until the day you realize that, okay, unfortunately, I don't think I like what I see. I need to do more. And it comes from, this is an investment I want to make in myself, other than, hey, what's on in the gym in January 20? You know, let's just go. Then it becomes a problem. So it starts in the mind. Mike, for you, what is that? Are you a resolution guy? Are you a 10-point present tense?
I'm not a resolution person.
Right.
And I'll tell you why. I think the people who do the New Year's resolutions are not serious about success. The most frustrated people you'll ever meet are lazy, ambitious people.
Oh, damn.
Yes. So
fire.
Yes. Right. They're the most frustrated people you'll ever meet because they're ambitious about where it is they want to go, but they don't want to put in the work that is required to get to where they need to go. And what people need to realize about success and getting to where it is you need to be is that it is a journey. There's a saying that the man who loves to walk will go further than the man who loves the destination. Most of us are in love with the destination. We're not in love with the journey. So the minute you start falling in love with the journey towards the destination is when you will hit all these milestones as a side effect. Because you love the journey. And most of the times, getting to the destination is very anticlimactic. How many times have you seen people who have graduated from school and you're excited and you went through college and it was fun, everything was good, and then finally now you've graduated, you've thrown the hat huko juu and umerushia ma lecturers makaratasi, and then there's no job.
Now what?
Yeah.
Now what? So it's very anticlimactic. But the journey was where the life was lived. So if you now cultivate a habit of getting to love the journey, then that is going to take you further than just this thing of, oh, I want to go to the gym, now next year I want to start. By the way, ikifika mwisho wa mwezi, after I pay rent, I'm paying gym. You know, those are not people who are serious about success. And then it has to become a culture. It has to be something that you do every day. And for you to be able to do that, you have to rewire your mind. Because your mind, as an organ, is not primed for success. It is primed for self-preservation. And so anything hard that you need to do, your mind will immediately tell you, no.
It's hard, yeah.
Wake up at 5, no. Let me just sleep for 5 more minutes. Let me sleep for 10 more minutes. Go to the gym and lift heavy things, no. Itatutokesha. So your mind is not primed for success. It's primed for self-preservation. So you have to go through a deliberate process of rewiring your mind and saying, you know what? I'm waking up at 5. When my mind tells me no, I am the one who tells my mind what we are doing.
Right.
It's not my mind that tells me.
Right.
We are waking up at 5. This is what we are doing, and we are going to do it, and we're going to get through it. Success comes with discipline. And what is discipline? Discipline is doing what needs to be done, what must be done, not because you feel like doing it, but because it has to get done.
Yeah.
And so once we understand that that is what we need in our DNA, then you will be successful.
Yeah.
But for those who will say, okay, mimi lazima nionange kitu nataka. For example, Bobby said, I want to drive a G-Wagon. And so there are two things going through my mind. So there's that one where you'll take the picture, vision board, and put the G-Wagon there. You want to work out. You take a picture of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and put it there. Doop, Mr. Chiseled Man himself. You want to, get a job or earn a certain an amount of money. Print that amount of money, put it there next to some money stacks, so that you're constantly seeing it. What's that? Is there like a connection with that? Because, or it's just like you're saying, I'm going to do woo vision board, but I'm not doing the work.
Yeah, absolutely, there's a connection. There's a connection because it helps you visualize. You see somebody who has no vision, it's like you're in a ship in the middle of the sea and you don't know where you're going.
Right.
Yeah, you're just anywhere.
Yeah.
So a vision helps you focus towards a particular direction, towards a particular goal. But it doesn't end there. What we love to do in this country, and many of us, is that you have your vision and then you sit and pray about it without doing any action. And so you're like, this year, my pastor told me, this is my year. This is my year. I've got all my vision boards. I've got all my beautiful things there. But you don't leave the house. You don't go out to try and make any connections. You don't call anybody. You don't look in the newspaper or through social media for any opportunities.
Yes.
When there are opportunities and you're called for them, you're like, me that one I can't do. I'm not ready. Nimechoka. It's too late. I have to do what. So you're all this, so as I've said, your mind is primed for self-preservation. So you have to really go against your mind to rewire it. So that then, I'll give you an example. I was talking with my son. I'm trying to bring him up in my ways and to follow daddy's footsteps.
Yes, sir.
And so there was something that he was supposed to go and do that required him to speak Kiswahili, and he's not very good at Kiswahili. And so we were talking, and I was telling him, you know what? For you to be successful, you're going to have to actually go against this brain of yours that's telling you can't do this.
Yes.
Just go and do it. What is the worst that will happen? They will either kick you out, they will tell you are complete rubbish, you didn't qualify, but then guess what? You will still eat food at home,
Yeah.
you will still go to school,
Right.
you will still have clothes on your back.
Tried it.
And he still tried it.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that we have to, get into the habit of saying that I am just going to go and try this thing. Whether it works out or not, they keep saying you will always miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yes.
All right. And that's also for dating.
If I can just add
Go
on to
ahead.
what Mike
Go ahead.
said.
Yes.
So spiritually, there's something called the law of attraction, which is where people pray and then they don't do anything about it. I mean,
They're just waiting for...
yeah, they're waiting for it to work.
Right.
And it does work, but it's slow. It's a really, really slow process. I mean, you're going to get what you want. But
And sometimes it doesn't. I mean,
and sometimes it doesn't. Yeah. But so when you put yourself in a space where you're able to actually attract these things that you want, which is now the law of assumption, where you become the person that you want to be. People say, I remember kitambo when I finished uni, I was so broke. Nilikuwa naendanga hizo masijui auditions manini, watu walikuwa wanafanyanga vitu, nilitry kwa model, I tried everything, I did everything. And wase walikuwa wananiulizanga, wase wakiona nimepata gig wananiuliza, umemanageaje, umefanyikaje? Na mimi sikuwa naelewa nazipataje, but kitu ilikuwa inanihapenia is if I hear there's something,
You go.
We used to go.
Right.
I didn't really have a vision. I didn't really know what I ever wanted to become. You know, people knew I want to be a presenter. I want to be on radio. I never really ever knew what I wanted, but I just used to find myself around circles of people doing the things that I enjoyed and things that I liked to do. So when we'd go, for me, it wasn't really to go and tick off my goal. For me, it was just to go and enjoy the process. Then it elevated me up to where I am now. And when I look behind, I'm like, oh, wow, everything that I went through built like easily changia for me to become the person I am now. And that's because I was putting myself in the spaces that I needed to be. Whether it was unawares or whether I was unaware, that's just how it happened. But for those who are always just chilling and, you know, asking and being like, Mr. Kubalishwa, Mr. Chukuliwa, hata mimi niliambiwa no a million times, na mpaka sahi naambiwanga tu no bado. There's so many things I try out.
Yeah, but they still say no.
Yeah, I don't make it, but for me, it's about, like Mike said, just remembering to enjoy the process. There's this quote I saw. I don't know how it went exactly, but I'm just going to paraphrase it.
Okay.
It said, the memories you have, it's about how you lived your life each day. You see, like now when you think about 10 years ago, when I think about that time of my life in uni, it's just it's like a time where I did things and I went through things. It was a time in my past. But when you start to think about it deeply, you start to think about those days. How did I wake up in the morning? Who was I talking to? Who was I around? What did I eat?
Right.
What are the places I went to? What are the things I did? Nizo single days zilikuja zikachangia a whole memory. Like that single day I woke up, nikakula chipo, nikakosa ku-work out. The next day, nika-decide ku-work out. Izo siku zote, that single day zilichangia 10 years worth of memories, and now I have a story to tell because of how I chose to live my life those years ago. So you have to be intentional right now. Ndo usiamke when you're 50, you're like, I don't know what happened. I don't know where I was. Right. You need to be very intentional about now when you're 30. Now when you wake up, it's today. Today, what did you do? How are you? How did you talk to people? What did you learn about yourself? What book do you read? Because you wake up one day, you never read any books, you never went anywhere, you never made friends, you have no connections, you have no one to call, you didn't try anything. Na life inaendelea kusonga. And there are things, honestly, you wouldn't be able to do at 70 that you could have done at 20. And kuna vitu zingine to hold back, like unasemanga, mi siwezi kwa karobata, ya nakanika akona connections, ama ya nakanika na do. Yes, niko nazo, but sikukuwa na hizo vitu. Sa zile nilikuwa naanza. Sikukuwa na do, sikukuwa na connections, sikukuwa na jua mtu yoyote. Mi nilikuwa tu naenda around the circle. And right now, when I watch TV, I see all my peers, like all the people I was around, they're on adverts, they're on billboards, they're in magazines, they're doing things. I'm like,
but nobody understands the story behind.
Nobody knows. We used to go to Sanford and eat chipo and discuss things, and then we talk there, we don't know what next. Saizo tumechangia hiyo chipo, kila mtu ametoa 50 bob. Hakuna mtu anajua hiyo story, watu wanaona tu say. So it's about now, like how do you live now? Like if I want to drive that G-Wagon in at the end of the year, what do I need to do? I need to know what cars are about. I need to know how
much it costs.
How much
what is the tax on it?
Exactly.
To bring it to the country.
I can
Talk
just
to
put
Jeff.
my vision board and say, your G-Wagon. Inaweza come in 10 years. Maybe I win lottery. But if I need to be intentional right now, I need to put myself in spaces where, what are people who have G-Wagons? What are they talking about? How do they... You know, things like that. It actually really, really helps the process.
There's somebody who actually once told me that about, and I'll tie in what you said about the process and also what you talked about the process. And since you're talking about cars, somebody, because everybody, I mean, I don't know, like I was watching, any dunia different. Cardi B, I think 2 years ago, bought herself a Rolls-Royce Cullinan. I think I'm pronouncing it right. The SUV model of the Rolls-Royce. And she was posting yesterday how ameingia kwa garage yake, she realized, wait a minute, I've not driven this car in 2 years. I've never been in this car, because she can't drive. But I've never been in this car for 2 years. Then, there's time to look up a parking, and one of the bosses was telling me, you know, for young people, of course, it's, you know, it's okay to want the Range Rover.
Yeah.
Okay? But you also need to ask yourself, as you're looking for the Range Rover, like you said, you need to talk to people who have the Range Rover.
Yes.
kwa sababu service ya Range Rover na salary yako inaweza kuwa kidogo
kuna hitilafu ya mitambo.
Yes, it's okay. You could actually afford it. You could go to the bank and get a loan, do the payoff thing.
Yeah.
But ujue kama range ni 12 mic kama 30 mic, ujue kwanza comprehensive insurance inachezea kama maybe mita 2 around that. So you have to think about that. Then you also have to think about service.
Yes.
Let's say you've not bought it from an authorized dealer, so they don't give you that 5-year service. Woohoo! So you have to do it yourself. Usikuwe na gari alafu, you know, time imevunjika, unasikia tani 200,000.
Oh man.
Sasa utasema okay.
Sasa ilale home.
Sasa ilale tu home. Uweze kuwa na drive na range na kaa hivi one eye. So it's just that thing about information and the process towards getting it. TD Jake says something about also the process that do stuff and fail, because it's not, yes, you'll get there and we pray for you, we speak blessings on you, but you have to go and do the work, because either when you go and you're told no, that feeling, then you overcome the feeling and you go and look again and you're told another no. You've probably, in that building, you've now met a receptionist and you've made friends with the receptionist and probably because you're so good to them and they thought, the next time there's a job opportunity, come, oh, by the way, kuna job hapa hivi. They've announced. You know, that process, meeting people, talking to people is what builds up your, by the time unafika place unashanga, okay, Bona, we're having a conversation. Bona, are you okay? We're having a conversation about the head of state. We're saying, Ruto, Bona, amepotea ujamakazi na ujamakazi. Ukifanya homework, unashanga. These guys have been together 10, 15 years in the trenches. So unashanga, una ametoka wapi amepewa hii kazi na mimi nilikuwa nimequalify. But kuna mtu amekuwa na yeye na
kuqualify.
The networking. So the other thing, Mike, is I want to talk about social media because, like I said in the beginning, it is very, I feel like, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong, it is very easy these days to put a quote and, you know, look deep, look...
Everyone is a motivational.
Yeah, exactly.
Social media.
Yes, and look deep. But mi nafanyanga audit. I'm those guys. I do an audit of people's lives. I got some time in December where I just go, okay, huyu mtu mwenye anakuanga influencer, let's scroll up. Let's see the things that they've done. And sometimes you find there are people who they are in the same place, doing the same things. Sometimes because of the economic times, wearing the same clothes, doing the same. Yani ni kama wana oscillate, wana circle. They are just oscillating around one thing. So how do you move from that person who, yes, it's good to put the quote because you motivate yourself, but how do you let that quote speak for you before hata wewe waanze kuitumia watu wengine? How do you do that? How do you get that balance?
You see, social media is window dressing. It is just window dressing. And that is why most of the people, if you go behind the social media, you will find that whatever it is that they're posting there is not true.
Right.
Yeah. They're just trying to create a certain image so that they can impress and, you know, pass along a certain idea of who they are.
Right.
If, for example, you go back to the issue of the Range Rover, you're 22, 23. Why do you need a Range Rover? Why do you need a BMW?
And you don't have a house.
You don't have a house.
Because I look good
okay?
in it.
Yeah. So this is the thing that I find social media makes a lot of people do. You know, and you cut short, there's also a lot of pressure.
Yes. I literally, if I go today, for example, I guarantee you this to be true. If I walk today, Mimi, to a car yard, and I get into a G-Wagon,
I'll take photos.
Put it like that, and I take photos, then even nikipost hivi, hata bila kusema kitu, unasikia blogs, Willis flaunts his new G-Wagon.
Yeah, exactly. So you're trying, fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it.
You're trying to get an impression of who you are. So what we do and what social media gives us pressure to do is to buy things that we don't need with money that we don't have to impress people we don't like.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the situation most people find themselves in. I'm trying to create an image of myself because then I'm looking for validation from outside and not from within. So now if you're always looking for validation from outside, then that means you don't know who you are. You don't know the things that you want. I'm buying this because I saw Willis driving a certain car, but I don't know how Willis got it.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it was wash. I don't know whether he's...
It wasn't.
No, it wasn't. But I don't know whether it was in partnership with some car dealer who was like, take this car for a week and drive it around. Right. But I'm looking at Willis and saying, this guy, we're in school together.
And now he has this.
Rolls Royce, Callahan, that one. And I'm like, how has Willis managed? Even me, Mazaya, I must. So what do you find people doing? You find people, it's so ridiculous. You find people going to hotels and you sit there and you take photos. You order just a soda. But then you take 1,000 photos. So that people can think, this is a lifestyle Roberta lives.
Right.
Hapa ndio nakulanga. Then I know Willis has a nice house. So I call Willis, hey Willis, can I come over to your place on Saturday? Just take photos. It's true.
Yeah.
This is what people are doing.
Right.
And then you ask yourself, where is this person heading? Like, what is all this contributing to? Like, what's the end game here?
But is it true that in their mind they say it's that fake it till you make it? Like, I have to appear to have certain things so that I get treated in a certain way. For example, the way back in the day, I don't know if it still happens now, when the tenderpreneurs, they would go hire V8 to show up to the meeting.
Yeah.
So that at least mtu akimwona anaona kama ni kama unaweza handle hiyo pesa unaitisha. Si unaenda kuitisha hapo 30 mic alafu unaingia kwa sitasema gari ndo they don't throw me ni ama kama kwa nduthi. So I don't know.
But the best investment, you see, because what's going to happen is that's just a house of cards that you're building, which will crumble at some point.
Right.
If Willis, you came and told me today you know how to build roads, and you wanted a tender for building roads, you have never built a road in your life, but you showed up in the VX and everything. I'll give you, fine, I might get impressed and I'll give you the money to build the road. But what's going to happen further down the line? You may not be able to actually deliver, So why don't you then take time to invest in yourself? Invest in yourself, in your craft. Make sure that you're the best at what it is that you do. Make sure you love what it is that you do. And that way, you don't have to fake anything. Right. When you show up, you're showing up with confidence. Yourself, yeah. You're showing up with the capacity to be able to deliver what it is that you're saying you're going to deliver. But most of us want shortcuts. All those things are shortcuts.
Right.
It's all people will see, and then they'll call me, and then I'll do. And then you'll not be able to deliver anything at the end. So what does that do? It actually harms your brand more than it builds it.
Yeah, so unashukisha. So then what is like you've talked about the law of assumption, and there's this one thing, just before I go to you, but the other thing that I always find crazy is it is, let me tell you what, if there is somebody who believes in God, it is I.
Amen.
But then there is a group of people who also now, for example, you say, Lord, this year, may my mate locate me. Father, they shall open their eyes so that they see me tall, dark, handsome, drives a good car. Yeah, I'm describing myself. Yeah, so, like you're out there trying to pray. You pray for these things, but at a Bible, it's he who finds. Kuna action. You have to go and find the wife. You have to do something. So there are people who get lost in the futuristic. How do you bring them back? For those who also, there's somebody who was challenging me, again, like I told you, mimi waamini ya God. Lakini pia sasa zingine tukiomba, tumezoea Mungu akwe sasa Mungu wa kuleta, in the future. Like you're praying for God, one day I'll make it. God, one day I'll have $1 million. One day. So umeweka Mungu akwe uyo God wa ile one day. Si Mungu wa sai.
Yeah.
So that you don't believe that something can happen now. There is the God of the suddenly, but pia kuna a process. But how do you kind of bring things back to a reality? As much as, yes, I want to get promoted or I want to earn more money, but my reality now is that I'm not yet there. So how do I bring things back here, but still work to that?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Yeah.
I'm just going to tie it to what Mike said. You have to be really honest with yourself, because everything boils down to self. It all comes back to you. You have to know yourself in order for you to be able to be confident in yourself.
Right.
Which in time will bring about you being able to exist as yourself, which makes you want to improve yourself. Because when you wake up every day and you're still yourself, you're like, wow. It goes by, time inapitanga tu unaanza kurealize, hey, things around
it's
you are
June.
moving. Yeah. I can't have venye New Year ilifika, I was so shocked. I was like, what? Like the whole year imeisha.
Yeah.
That went by pretty fast.
Yeah.
You have to exist as yourself so that you're able to be real with yourself. I'll give an example. When I was younger, I had really low self-esteem. And I didn't like trying things out or like being in spaces because I was always the ugly friend, or no one wanted to talk to me, or no one wanted to interact with. I had really beautiful light-skinned friends, and I was always the dark girl. Mnaonanga jokes that the dark skin ndo anakuanga mkali ukienda kutry kuongelesha.
No, mother hen.
Mother hen. Those jokes are always about me, and it does something to your self-esteem.
Yeah.
And so I started nika-realize nanza fake a lot of things. The way I spoke, I used to lie about a lot of things. When people would ask me where I live, when people would ask me where I buy my clothes or where I go to school. If it's someone, mwenye najua sitaipatana naye, I'll give you a whole other personality. Yeah. Like I used to be such a good liar. And then I realized, when I started growing up, I realized these people weren't really going away, and I still have to interact with them, and now they can start to see the real me. They can start to see old name. You know, and things start to come up. Someone asks you questions, how do you anything about it? Hizo my international schools, I know nothing. I don't even know GPA systems. Mimi nilikuanga 844. But
so what was your GPA?
Hata sijui GPA ukika wapi, sijui kani 10 ama 4. You know, I never really. But I would lie.
Right.
And I started to realize that, like Mike said, that house of cards starts to crumble, and now you have to, and to hide your lies, you have to make more lies. So unajipata umeishi life. So one day I just told myself, yo, it has to end. I have to be confident enough to exist as myself. This is me, this is my name, this is where I live, this is how I show up, and this being real, ilinifanya nikuwe confident in that. These days, even if I show up somewhere, I don't even care to compare myself with anyone else. It's okay if they have that, or if they look like that, or if they go those places, it's fine. Mimi naishi within my means, najijua, and I just show up as myself. And the more I was able to show up as myself and be real with myself, it pushed me to always want to improve myself and to do good things for myself, because not necessarily that I want to be like them, but just I want good things for myself. Hizo stories za uongo nilikuwa napiga, nilikuwa nazisema maybe subconsciously, because they're coming from a place in my mind where those are the things I want for myself. Those are the things I want to be like that. I want to feel like that. So it stopped being me coming from a space of scarcity and lacking to me accepting myself as I am. Because if you don't start with acceptance, there's never any room for improvement.
Right.
Kama tuseme, like your son, he's not that good at Kiswahili. He has to just be okay with not being good at Kiswahili. Si ati sasa afeel vibaya ndo aweze kudanganya. Unajua mimi nishaishi Zanzibar. No,
mimi Tanzania usinione hivi bana mimi.
Mimi just accept so that he says, okay, the problem is sijui Kiswahili.
Yeah.
So what next?
What next? Yeah. What do you do about it?
Sawa, neza nataka kufundishwa, nataka kulearn, ndo nikuwe better. When you bring yourself to acceptance, you stop trying to compare yourself. You stop trying to live like other people. It stops mattering. Like me, kitambo, my IG was really popping. I used to post all these things. These days, I don't even want anyone to know anything. I don't want... Izo mahoteli, staki mtoto ajue nimeenda. Because hiyo ndo life yangu sahi ya ukweli. Unajua? So now, I start valuing my privacy more. And it stops being about like showing people, because see, I've achieved it. It's about me now. I'm accepting, I'm grateful.
So you're happy with where you are?
Yes, and I've seen myself get there gradually because I was happy in the process and I stopped pretending. And it gives you some confidence because you start to see, oh, I can achieve it. Oh, I can also do it for myself. I don't even need to lie or borrow and that's such a much better feeling. I mean, however way you decide to go about your things, it's okay. But something I try to tell people a lot is invest in yourself, love yourself, educate yourself. Anything that makes you better. When someone is trying to teach you, just learn. You won't lose anything from that. And if you put yourself there, unaanza kujipata, hauna need ya hata hizo resolutions zinajiresolvingi tu, unapata tu, okay, I needed to know about cars. It's week 1, I already know cars, I know about paint jobs, I know about So I already have that key vision of this car. You know, it's in me, najua venye na feel. Kidogo nimemeet mtu ako na hiyo G-Wagon, I'm able to enter it, I'm able to touch the seats, I'm able to
feel free. Unazaenda ukae ndani usikie ukifanya.
I'm able to tell what the steering feels like, what the body feels like. And that's just because I didn't act like I know it all. I didn't act like, mimi nimezoea G-Wagon. Nilijeka space, niko able kusema, kai sijaingia G-Wagon, can I please have this chance?
I did that to one of our bosses' cars up. I was like, damn, sijaingia karibu.
Yeah.
Let me feel how it feels.
Yeah.
Nikaongesha driver, nikaingia.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels good.
It makes me feel like,
ushajieka
hapo, ushajileta, like, because one time ilikuwa story. One time nilikuwa tu kwa show nikiongea juu ya G-Wagon. So if you guys see me pull up with my G,
tutoka tu like, yeah.
I remember she talked
go back to 10th of January 2020. Yeah.
It's a process. I'm just going to keep repeating the law of assumption. You can attract the things you want, but it's a slow process. Put yourself in that position. Put yourself. You don't have to go to an expensive gym. You don't have to go to where. Makeshift. You don't have to have money to record a song. You just need to put yourself around the right people. People who, bro, kona voice poa, si ukam studio mini producer. You know, like, hivo tu, you don't need to know Willis Raburu, you don't need to, you can just start small.
Where you are.
Accept
do
yourself.
Do a cover.
Be yourself.
A cappella. Put it online.
And the universe conspires to, have you guys read The Alchemist?
No, you told me to read it. That's the next book.
I keep telling you to read books. It says the universe, because honestly, say any books ngapi? The universe.
Okay, sorry, go on.
The universe will always, the universe is for you.
Right.
It's for you. It's never against you. Even when bad things are happening to you, it's for you. They're happening for you. Like, kama mimi simu yangu iliharibika and I was so sad because sasa budget and now I have to buy a new phone. But I was like, but I was manifesting a new phone. So how else was I going to get it? I wasn't going to get it by staying with my old phone. Something had to happen to prompt me. Unajua simu inaanzanga mashida, unasema, nda replace. Then it went off kabisa, so now I have no choice. But in the things that I wanted for myself, I was like, it's time for an upgrade, it's time for... But I needed that, something to push me. Okay, so now I don't have an option. But looking at it, I was really pissed off and angry. But now I'm starting to see, it had to happen like that.
Right.
That had to happen so that... So always remember, the universe is for you. It will always give you everything you need. You just have to put yourself in the right position to be able to receive. And most of all, to be able to acknowledge, like, kukwa able to recognize, that's what it is. Okay, sawa.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's interesting. What Roberta is saying is actually very true. Huh? And so when you pray for things, for those who are prayerful, when you pray for things, what my experience has been is that things don't come the way you prayed for them.
Right.
So, for example, if you pray, I need confidence, I need courage, what God will do is He'll put you in very dangerous situations.
Yes.
So that you learn how to be courageous. Yeah?
Like, man, why am I going through this?
Yeah. But how else will you learn to be courageous?
Yeah.
You want to extend love to people. He'll give you broken people to fix.
Yes.
You know, so it's a very practical process, but it's just that the way we pray and the way we expect the blessing to come
through,
it doesn't come that way. And you see, going through this other route builds something in you that gives you that capacity and it gives you that ability to be able to handle this blessing that is coming. I think the other thing I also want to say is that we have to realize that nothing changes if everything remains the same.
Yeah.
You can't be there with your vision board and all your beautiful things there that you want to do, but you're doing the exact same thing. You know, the definition of madness is doing the same thing and expecting a different result.
Right.
So last year, this is what you were doing and it didn't give you any results. This year, you're doing the exact same thing and you're expecting something different to happen. It's never going to happen. So you have to be very conscious about now doing things differently. What is this that I'm going to do? If it was an issue of going to the gym and I keep saying I don't have time, where are you going to find the time? If I used to wake up at 7, I'll say now I need to wake up at 5. So you need to do something different.
Yes.
Yeah, from what you were doing before. So once we realize that that's the way we need to do it, then we will move somewhere. Right. And then the third thing is just to encourage people who are watching, is that when you're trying something new, the reason why most of us give up is because you get overwhelmed with the enormity of this thing. You know, I want to go to the gym. Now you start thinking, I'm going to go to the gym and lift every single weight in that gym. You know, by next week, Friday, I have to have a six-pack. The beach body has to be popping. You know, there's that pool party I have to go. You know, no. And so how I want to encourage people is use the rule of 5 minutes. Do something that you want to invest in just for 5 minutes. Even if it's that gym, even if it's that exercise, do it just for 5 minutes every single day.
Research. Yes. I normally say
even if it's
Google,
research, if it's a side gig you're trying to start, do it just for 5 minutes. You know what's going to happen? Now you will train your brain to show up to do this thing. That is the most important step, learning how to show up to do it. So what will naturally happen is you'll do it, you'll go and lift weights for 5 minutes and you'll go. You'll come back, 5 minutes, you go. Next week, you'll come, you'll be like, say I can do 10. Then you do 10. The next week, you'll be like, say I can do a heavier weight. Then you do a heavier weight. Before you realize it, you're doing a 1-hour workout with heavy weights, and it's become a culture.
6 months.
You've now inculcated it into your everyday routine. But start small. Start with 5 minutes, whatever it is you're doing, whether you're researching, anything. 5 minutes, leave it. Come back tomorrow, 5 minutes, leave it, like that. Cultivate the process.
Paula, and what about for the people who, I know you have like maybe 3 minutes, but there are those people who, again, we're on day 10 and they've already, quote unquote, not lived up to the resolutions they made to themselves in the fast. They've not gone to the gym, they've not stopped abusing people, they're still, they're still doing the things they say they're not supposed to do. What do you tell that kind of person?
I say it's never too late. New Year inaweza kwa New Year kwako, ni time yako. Kama inaanza June, wazi.
Nasema tuchukue New Year ama chinku.
Kitu tu important ni hiyo, vile Mike amesema. Jifundishe kwanza kushow up. It's not easy. You know, people show up, you think at it's easy. Nah, people are going through depression, financial issues. People are sad. People are overwhelmed. Mental health issues. But washajiambia, wanajua hiyo at least to show up. Kutokea tu, kutry. So work on yourself. Take all the time you need and be very patient with yourself. Be very kind to yourself. Be extra loving to yourself, especially this year. Put yourself first. Choose yourself. I swear, ukijichoose, vitu zingine ujialign. Haunidingi hata kujiambia ati, guys, sasa nini? Unajua tu unajipenda, unataka kukapoa, utaenda. Unajua unataka kukua healthy, utadishi fiti. Unajua unataka skin yako ikae, utakunywa maji. Hakuna mse atakukumbusha. You know you need to pay your bills because you like your lifestyle. You'll just go out and make the money. No one will have... When it comes from you, because it's a you thing, you want to look better, you want to feel good, you want to be able to take care of the people around you as well. It's something that's going to happen within you. And there's a time I really went through bad depression, and I got so tired because it really drains you of everything. And I got so tired of waking up every day, living the same life, being so tired, feeling so sad. So I told myself I needed change, and I didn't know where this change was going to come from because those days that depression wasn't a word. So I didn't even know what I was going through. But I just decided, lazima ni mimi niamke, because I realized everyone around me thought I was lazy or I never liked showing up. But I was really going through it. So it had to come from me. Hakuna book nilisoma, hakuna kitu niliona online ama mtu aliniambia, hakuna therapist alini-teach. It's just me who decided for myself, this has to change. So trust yourself enough to work on yourself, enough to know that one day it's just going to come from you. Don't feel guilty or don't feel like you've already failed. And even if things are not going according to the way you wanted them to go, just always remember the universe is conspiring for you. All the things that are happening, whether they are bad, whether you're going through hell, it's happening for you so that unaweza make your decision we mwenyewe, niko depressed, lazima niamke. it's happening to improve you. Don't feel distraught or like you're less or you're not enough or like hautawai achieve. Mabeshte zako ni day 10. Kani day 10 Roberta sha achieve hizo goals zake, minda waimfikia. Timeline ni yako. Fanya vitu zako venye fanya. Na usisikie vibaya. We jitrust tu na endele kujipush. I promise one day you'll wake up, whether it's in April or November, you'll wake up and you'll decide, okay, time to go.
Yeah, let's do the thing.
Yeah.
All right. Mike, same question as we wrap it up.
No, I think for me, you just have to, you know, they say that change happens when you get tired of your own crap.
Oh, damn.
Okay, let's not choke him, man.
Yeah, change happens when you get tired of your own crap. Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, so it's true. Because people can tell you, oh, do this, and you can watch all these motivational things and everything, but if you're not ready to change yourself, nothing happens. And that's why I said, nothing changes if everything remains the same. As more choke and you say, now I'm going to do this. Now, what does that mean? You have to be deliberate about doing things differently. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be extremely painful because as human beings, we love the comfort zone.
Yeah.
So it's going to be extremely painful for you to do it and painful mentally because it means you're going to have to change certain things about the way you live and the way you act. And so just being deliberate about that, knowing what are the things that you need to change, and then just doing it in small bite sizes.
Right.
And so don't feel like you have to take on everything at once. Just say, I'm going to do this thing, 5-minute rule, show up for 5 minutes, and then build from there.
All right. Well, I tell you what, we will wrap it up there. But I got a message here from DJ Euphoric. I'm saying today's topic is amazing, bro. Personally, I've been there. I was a person living with disability, a lot of rejection and all that, but I kept going on till nikafika kuwork with the mighty, including the president. So it's all about believing in yourself and to move with your base. That's what it's about. All right. And then finally, I leave you with a quote here. I want to buy Oiko, okay. Instead of that one first, let us take the feedback. Tima amesema kuna feedback. Unajua lazima tusikie watu wa Arsenal. Wacha tuangalie feedback kwanza. Haya basi, feedback in 3, 2, 1 and lift off. Okay. Having that confidence to step out of the comfort zone and pursue what you want, it's all that it takes. But it's never easy. Another one. This is Joseph Musimi. Pretty good discussion. New Year doesn't bring anything with it. This thing is bright. Except what you put into it. Resolutions only make sense if one is committed and self-disciplined enough to follow through. Okay? Humiliation and honor in all categories will help you to achieve your resolutions. Ukikapitia itakuwa noma. Is that it? Oh, pole nilikuwa bado niko kwenye frame. Okay, let's do the thing. All right, thank you very much. Yes, thank you. Yes, there you go. Sasa idakapo. Nimevaa white na background ni white, nilikuwa niko ndindas. I want to leave you the quote here. This is I love this lady's quote. She's called Marianne Williamson. Maybe you've heard it before. She says, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us." We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, to be gorgeous, to be talented, to be fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You're a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We are born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others.
Yeah.
Ni hayo tuko sasa.
The truth in that.